if you get a cold email from us, you're a very lucky person because we target very carefully and we don't beat around the bush with value. We just, I don't know. That's how I like to think about it anyways. Like your prospect should be lucky that you found them because your cold email's that damn good.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack from emailsthatsell.com.
Today, Teardown. Hey, Jack, just before we start, I've been doing some thinking lately. Our podcast won't be legit until we have a sponsor, right?
Okay, but haven't we been turning down sponsors?
I know, but it's hard to recommend something you and I don't use often, and we're already promoting the crap out of our services.
Fair point, but what about the course we just released? Wouldn't you recommend that to our listeners?
Yeah, for sure I would. All right, so how would we start?
Well, for starters, I wouldn't mention that it took us over a year and 3 trips to Japan and Switzerland to record the thing.
All right, let's not do that. But at minimum, I would want to mention where they can find the course. Like, let's put it to, course.quickmail.io. Would that work for you?
It works, and then I could share what a few of those early students had to say about it. Like the one from Damien, who said it was by far the best course on cold outbound I've ever taken. Or what did Chris say? The week on sales research and targeting prospects blew my mind. Yeah, we definitely want that in there.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of too easy. People always say nice things when they get results. And at some point, we're going to have to come up with some hard sell copywriting materials of our own. And I'm not that great at that. So I don't know. What would you put on the page?
Okay, how about this? Imagine that instead of getting ignored by prospects day after day, you could just follow a course that shows you how to book meetings with dream clients and automate the entire outbound process so you can focus on closing deals and scaling your company. Plus, there's that money-back guarantee and the 8 modules and the bonus podcast interviews. But so far, so good?
Yeah, I like it, man. But I like your style. So anyway, all right, it's getting a bit late. So can we podcast now and review that later?
Yeah, but at least promise me that course.quickmail.io is finally live and people can finally try out the course right now.
Yeah, sure. I already put it live, and just so you know, I added that special price we discussed about for our podcast listener, and then we can leave it here until, we're happy with the landing page. Sounds fair enough?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so teardowns.
All right, Jack, what have we got today?
We've got 3 glowing teardowns, or I should say potentially glowing teardowns. Let's just dive straight into it.
That's right.
And see which is the greatest email of the day. So without further ado, subject line, Jack's invitation to the open house. Hi, Jack. I represent Novel Co-working, Miami's new provider of fully furnished, amenity-rich workspaces for teams of 1 to 100. On June 25th, we're hosting an exclusive open house for our new building at address. And I wanted to invite you to a scheduled tour of our private offices and smart suites, TM, before all spots fill up. Not only will there be private one-on-one tours of Miami's coolest workspace, but there will be complimentary food and drink and a chance to win exciting prizes. Best of all, guests who sign a 15-month office agreement before or during their tour will receive 3, all in caps, months free of office rent, ! Novel is the only co-working company with owned real estate, allowing us to provide a stable, client-focused environment for our 10,000 plus members. Novel co-working members have access to more than 3.2 million square feet of workspace in 38 plus locations. If you're interested, RSVP as soon as you can, ! I'd be happy to share some more details if you need. Best regards, signature. Whew. All right.
And you're living in Miami as well, right?
Yeah, so they got the city correct. For listeners, bienvenido. Okay, so what did they get right? I mean, let's start with the subject line, Jack's invitation to the open house. I thought this was from a realtor that was trying to sell me a condo or something.
Trying to sell you the open house.
Yeah, but I opened it, so they did something right. I would have put Miami in this subject line because if you're already segmenting by city, it's an easy way to stand out in the subject line.
That's right.
Okay.
That's a great point. Definitely.
All right. Anything else on subject line?
No, I think if we move further, because, this is a pretty long email. So
Yeah.
definitely you could probably summarize it, right? To basically, hey, come to our office. We're going to give you free food, free beer.
Yeah.
And making you a tour. And if you're getting a lease, then we give you some months for free.
Yeah.
Please, RSVP.
Okay, so let's start with that. That's their offer, 3 months free office space if you sign up for a 15-month thing. Okay, so it's basically like pay a year.
Man, why?
Sorry, wait, why?
Why? That's my question. Like, why now? It's like, why don't you just open the conversation instead of, trying to sell me straight away? It's like, first you're telling me like, yeah, come and join us. We're going to give you some pizza, some beers. We're going to have fun. I'm going to show you around, And then, by the way, this is our offer. Then you take it or you leave it. It's like,
yeah,
it's a shame.
Right. And a note on tone, cool it with the exclamation marks. I don't think there's ever been a cold email that should have an exclamation mark, unless it's like a personal thing like, wow, I can't believe we both love skydiving.
Jack, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's the only time I can think to put an exclamation point. Or I don't know, loved your book, exclamation point. Yeah, it's got to be only about the person.
That's a good
All
one.
right. So what else can we learn from this? So you've heard me say this a million times, loyal listener, but this is a weak CTA. If you're interested, RSVP as soon as you can. I'd be happy to share some more details if you need, period. Every single cold email should end in a question mark unless you're a pro. Solves it right away.
Oh, a question for you, Jack. Would that actually work, Jack, if you just say, please RSVP? There is no question mark, but it's like, it's sort of like order or action.
Yeah, so it's like reply yes if you're interested, period. Like, yeah, but my advice still holds true that you should end it with a question mark because that's nearly a surefire direct question if you throw in a question mark. If you use a period,
it's like an open loop.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I would say to the novices, you must end with a question mark. I mean, that said, we've got a CTA swipe file. It's like quickmail.com/goodies or something, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if you want to see a bunch of direct and weak call to actions that are labeled accordingly, you should download that.
That's true. We must have RSVP inside anyway.
In 2020, you got to nail your CTAs. No excuses. But I have a soft spot for these people because I'm sure COVID didn't make things easy on them, and they're a local company, I think. So let's see.
That's
one
true.
Other
difficult market. Well, that's interesting. They didn't actually mention COVID.
So the poor bastards sent this to me, I think, in February before it was an honest, let's say, situation.
Since then, they canceled the pizza and
the free months, maybe. But yeah, so let's see. Quick scan, Jeremy. Anything good in here to highlight for our listeners before we close it out?
Well, if you have the, quote unquote luxury, because obviously because of COVID, this is a difficult time for anyone who is local. But if you can play the local card any time of the day, I think I love the approach. Like, hey, come and see us. We give you free food in exchange kind of thing. It's like, that's not a bad value proposition. You could even say like, bring a coworker, bring a colleague or whatever, this sort of thing. This is always nice. What I'm not really keen on is the fact that they merge it with like a contract proposition already. Like, hey, by 15 months, get 3 free. And the other thing is that, what the hell? They're talking about like multiple locations, like 10,000 members, 38 locations.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the local card, why on earth will you actually sell, remote and travel,
Yeah.
That kind of like downplay the fact that, I did my targeting right. And now I'm thinking like, would that just random kind of thing?
So I haven't done any research into this company, but now that you say that, Jeremy, they probably are not the local company. They probably have offices around the country and this is their Miami campaign.
Yeah.
That they're targeting.
That's right.
There's probably a conversation to have around targeting
Dude, it's a follow-up.
Yeah.
The follow-up is like, hey, by the way, if you don't have the chance to come to Miami or you're traveling often, or even like asking them like, hey, are you traveling often?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we got some other spaces that you'll be interested
there
in.
You go.
Or is that an advantage or benefit for you? Are you traveling a lot? Because, honestly, we could sort like do a worldwide deal or something like that.
That is true. And I'm not quite ready to leave this email because I want to highlight something that they got wrong that should have been a highlight, a bright spot in this cold email. So in order to establish social proof, they mentioned they have 10,000 plus members. Okay, I probably would have moved that way to the top because then I probably would start thinking about them differently. They also have 38 locations. But what actually was communicated was, I'll quote, "It's the only co-working company with owned real estate, allowing us to provide a stable client-focused environment." That means nothing to me. I don't know what the hell a client-focused environment means. Like what?
I was thinking the same.
I know they were trying. They were trying to say there's something different about us. But if you read your cold email to someone that's already a customer, they should get everything you're saying. And if you have to explain anything in person, you absolutely need to go and rewrite your benefit because you're going to lose prospects. So I would have loved it. They said, we've got gourmet coffee 24/7 and a gym downstairs that you're welcome to. That's a concrete benefit that I get.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so salespeople, marketers, avoid the fluffy client-focused environment types speak whenever you can, just because it doesn't mean anything.
That's a great point.
All right, now I'm finished with it. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so subject line. Epistolary startup connecting loved ones during COVID-19 exclamation point. Hello, comma. Not so good. My name is name, and I am a recent Rice University MBA graduate and founder of Talinga. Talinga, parentheses, like telling a story, creates epistolary, parentheses, literary/artisanal work in the form of letters, greeting cards that tell your story through snail mail. Story recipients receive illustrated stories about themselves from 30-plus artists across the nation based on a unique preference. Talinga provides that old level of eagerness and anticipation of looking forward to checking your mailbox every day by reimagining the traditional greeting card into turning it into an epistolary experience. This is the anti-social media company, exclamation mark. Bear with me, listener. Couple more lines here. Our service has provided an excellent way for people to stay connected during the pandemic, exclamation point. I wanted to reach out and see if you wanted to share our fun story, question mark. We can provide you with anything you need as soon as possible. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you soon, exclamation point. P.S. If you're the right person to contact for the story, would you be able to let me know who it is? Well, good news, Mr. Talinga. We are going to share your fun story in the form of a cold email teardown.
Yeah.
So sit tight.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get new customers. Who knows? But I'm not sure our customers are the type that actually are eagerly checking their inbox every day for what's coming in by mail or a big fan of epistolary stuff,
Yeah. So we have a conversation about jargon, and let's just call it fancy writing, because that's a very plain way to say, I think they're losing people by trying to be a little bit too elegant. You feel the same way?
Well, honestly, if they write the cards the same way they write this cold email, it's like, I want my client to understand.
Right.
It's just like, it's like fancy. Is it what fancy with words? Is it fancy with text, with image, with...
Good point.
It's like, honestly, Jack, are you ever looking forward to checking your mailbox every day?
I think that's their point they were trying to make, is that it will, like the days of old, rekindle the excitement you had about receiving a letter or something. I mean, but then again, I'm not their writer, so let's pick some things apart. So obviously, my name is Axit, right?
Well, sorry, but that's a great point, actually. Do you think a copywriter wrote it?
No.
I think it's the founder who wrote it. And
no, absolutely not. Yeah, in fact, we know the founder wrote it from the first line, who decided to tell us his full name, alumni, and position at the company. It's not a copywriter, and if so, you're basically paying them to practice. To me, there's the word choice is losing people because, again, it's unclear. I think they're choosing words like, how many of the people receive this know what epistolary means? Epistolary. I didn't know what that word meant, and
it's on you then, Jack.
Look, I'll tell you, if 1 out of 100 of your prospects is going to lose you because you chose a fancy word, cut it and replace it. I mean, this is like copywriting 101, is plain, short words, short sentences, short paragraphs outperforms the opposite every time. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's a great takeaway here.
And again, I mean, you're absolutely right. And our listener doesn't really see that, but it is a massive block of text for the first paragraph. It was like, you can't, like, you and I will keep on looking into like, where is the sentence I wanted to comment on? It's like, that's already a bad sign.
Right. I'm almost ready to just make a black and white best practice cold email is 1 sentence per block.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes sense.
for the novice, without a doubt, that'll steer you better than other. Yeah, I mean, there's another conversation of whether or not that looks a little bit too much like a cold email. So you may actually revert, tie some sentences together so it looks like you typed it on your iPhone. But I mean, we're missing also this greeting, hello. I have a theory where if you don't know the person's name, you don't put a greeting. You just go straight to the message. You don't say, hey, comma, with no name. That looks like you forgot a merge tag. But if you don't have the name, A, shame on you. How do you not have the name in 2020? And B, just axe it and go straight to it.
It could have been worse. You could have said, hello, podcast, since it's podcast at quickmail.io.
I might have liked that better, honestly. Just because,
yeah. I'm wondering, actually, if we asked this person to halve his cold email size, I'm afraid he would have kept epistolary.
Probably. Right.
Because I think the weight or the focus is actually wrong on the email. It's trying to pass on something that no one really anticipate or want to necessarily pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's like, but look, this is really amazing and fantastic, but no one really cares or look at. So I would have much preferred, to see the actual benefits, or you're right. Maybe they could actually start straight away with something else, cut it in half and start already at the second half.
Yeah. So if I were rewriting this really quickly, I would lead with this one sentence here. It says, story recipients receive illustrated stories about themselves from 30 plus artists across the nation based on unique preferences. So look, I'm reading this whole thing and I'm pulling out the one most interesting snippet and I'm going to create an email around that. So I would probably say, Jeremy, because COVID turned everyone away from connecting, I connected with a bunch of artists to make some beautiful cards you can send to friends. Can I send you a few mock-ups that you might be able to use to make a friend's day? Better, right?
Yeah, or even actually, just linking one or two, here's some examples you can check out.
Yeah.
And then you can see who's actually clicking, because then that signals really strong interest. Like,
Sure.
Oh, I'm interested in that.
Sure. They may need a special follow-up. They may need maybe a phone call. Oh, yeah, right.
The follow-up could even ask them, about like different style or different things, if they haven't taken any action on the first, set or batch of image you want to send them or show them.
Now, a couple more, things to be learned from this. Let's look at this sentence. Our service has provided an excellent way for people to stay connected during the pandemic. It's not concrete enough for me. I would want to know, not just for people to stay connected, but it'd be better if it said for podcast hosts to connect with their audience, for business owners to connect with their team, for family members to connect with loved ones they're not able to see, right? Like, just get specific. If you need to tailor it using a merge tag to different segments, even better, right? But there's a final note here that says they're actually, I think, doing like PR outreach, where it says, wanted to reach out to see if you wanted to share our fun story, right? So,
well, maybe on the podcast, and we did. So, here we go, guys.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. But okay, so if they were going the PR angle, I would have led with like a story. A story about how someone used it to, make their grandma's day because she was feeling isolated and she got this handwritten, artistic, epistolary note.
Make your employee cry during COVID. This is how you,
the headline,
you lead a
that's
story.
The subject, right?
Yeah.
That'd be actually pretty clever. Okay, any thoughts on this PS if you're not the right person?
Hold on. Would you think that would have worked?
What's that? How to make your employee cry during COVID?
Yeah.
I probably would have said make emails that sell employees cry during the pandemic. Because I would have had to read it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would work, honestly. But hey, that's what A/B testing is for, right?
True story. Okay, I would say axe the PS. I mean, it's asking for the right person to contact, but this is such a lengthy message. I'm saving that for the third touch.
Yeah, right. And honestly, it just means like, couldn't nail down my targeting.
Didn't bother.
That's why I didn't drop your name at the beginning. But hey, if you happen to know anyone who is the target of this email, hopefully you read until that late. I mean, come on. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So I'm done with this email.
One last thing. What does the anti-social media company means with an exclamation mark?
So
It's the same thing again. It's like, it's not necessarily a jargon, but I'm not even sure what they actually mean by that. Like, oh, I know. Like, not anti-social as in anti-social, but social network.
yeah.
Because it's like
Right.
mail and
Right.
man, come on.
So
nah. If your recipient doesn't get it straight away, it's just like drop it.
So it sounds like this person and listener, if you feel like you're struggling to write clear copy in your cold emails, I would encourage you to check out Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. Fabulous book about clear communication. And with that, shall we finish up this Teardown episode with one more?
Let's go for it.
Alrighty. Subject line. Quick question. Hello, Jack! Exclamation point. A lot of exclamation points today. People are stoked right now.
They're excited to be on the show.
My name is something, and I wanted to reach out to you to see if there may be a way for our businesses to support each other. We are a software development company. I understand that it is not uncommon for marketing agencies to have clients who are looking to expand their technological offering, whether that be through a new mobile app, an updated web app, an e-commerce store, or a SaaS platform. I'd love to start a conversation with you about referrals that would support both of our businesses. We are Google's #1 rated software developer in San Diego, have completed over 300 applications, and have won many awards for our work. Would you be open to having a call? ? Please respond no if you are not interested. Thanks. Signature.
Yeah, business development.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I actually like this best out of all the teardowns we've done today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me why.
First of all, I know exactly what they want from me, which
that's a good point.
Is half the battle right there. And they also did geographic targeting. So if you look on LinkedIn, I'm in San Diego still because...
Oh, right. Because I was like wondering about this. I feel like, well, they missed it. You're in Miami. What's the point in actually mentioning San Diego if you're not in the same town?
Exactly. So, okay, cool. They did geographic targeting and...
Which, by the way, is an interesting point. If your company is in San Diego and then your client is not in the same town, find a commonality here. It could be that this person is in the same state. Then in this case, use the state. And if they are, in the same country, maybe not as big as United States, but, then use the country. But find a common point of reference. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point really? It's like, what is the actual information that you're adding here? You're not building any bridge.
So use it or just completely remove it if there's no bridge with geography. Okay.
That's right. Unless this place is special, like, for example, wine from Bordeaux, for example, in France, then that makes sense.
So I'll tell you, I kind of liked the first sentence. It got me to read the second one. Want to reach out to see if there may be a way for businesses to support each other. Something, okay, maybe a referral source. I'm interested. How are we going to support each other? What this person failed to do was explain how it worked to support me. It just sounds like they're looking for a referral. So that's the glaring downside. But just imagine, it's like, we pay 10% for all projects. Most referrals get $5,000, in about 30 days of signing up a new client. Would you be open to having a new call since you're a marketing agency dealing with such clients? Hey, okay, I might be interested.
Yeah. Would you be interested in making a little bit of money on top, on the side?
Yeah, that would have been far better. And all this person had to do was follow through with that promise they made in that first line that we could support each other. I also think Google's #1 rated software developer in City is pretty strong. And yeah,
I like that too, actually. And I was wondering if they could actually more or less lead with this instead of putting all that fluff in the middle. So I can, consider them because there are so many people offering the same sort of like thing. Then, if you can straight away show how you're different or you should be considered seriously, then, put it above. It's like the great example is AppSumo, is like, hey guys, we got 800,000 or even 1 million, entrepreneurs willing to buy software. Would you be open to, and then boom. I think it's great. Okay,
so here's how I would rewrite this if I wrote myself this cold email. Hey, Jack, a few other lead generation agencies teamed up with us for our referral program that pays out about $5,000 per referral. You wouldn't have to worry about sending people to, a shady developer. We're currently the number one rated programming team in the city, up for a short call, right? And, pretty much follow that up with another, 300 applications went exceedingly well. Here's our, what's the...
Well, that could be your follow-up. You don't have
exactly
to, push everything, but yeah, that's awesome. So shall we do your teardown instead? Because I think that's great. There's not much to say.
Yeah, sure, I guess. What about this? Please respond no if you are not interested. First time I saw that.
Yeah, I noticed this as well. And it's like, it's so freaking selfish. It's like, I don't value your time, but I do value mine. So, that will save me time not to follow up if you just tell me no.
See, I thought
what the hell?
Maybe they've listened to enough podcasts where they know they need engagement from prospects. So they figure throwing a no in there can get a higher reply rate, which tells Google to keep sending this. What do you think?
That's a good question. It's like, can I be insulted so at least, you interact with my email? I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds to me that this is one of those salesperson that says, I gotta go for the no, It's like, and if I'm interested, it's like, do I respond or not? Or just wait for your follow-up? I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan, honestly. It is different.
Yeah, so if you wanted to go the extra mile, you could do like a shout out to the city. So do like a San Diego PS where it's like, PS, I know referrals aren't everyone's thing. If you're not into this, just write no. It's all good. I'll buy you a fish taco next time you're in downtown or something. And then you'd win my heart because it's a fish taco. So it's all about
You're the man. You're the man.
It's all about phrasing things sometimes where you're essentially getting them to reply no, just in a much hopefully better way.
Do you have a course, Jack, on how to actually,
Heck,
write all those things so great?
Not only do I have a course, I made it with this genius who runs QuickMail. Yeah.
I'm not sure we're covering that part of the writing per se. Maybe we should in a future update.
Yeah, definitely. I guess while we're on the subject, if you want to know what Jeremy and I talk about in an entire course dedicated to cold email, course.quickmail.io will show you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Anything else we could say about this cold email?
I never was a fan of hello. I don't know why, but it seems so unnatural to write that to somebody. It kind of flagged this. When I see quick question and then hello, Jack, I know with 100% certainty this is a cold email from someone that has never met me before. So,
that's interesting. In QuickMail, we got quite a few users actually using, it's a spin text kind of thing, which is basically you could say you use this word or this word or this word, and then people put hello and then hi and then hey, and they just let the software pick one at random. So that adds a little bit of variation. And so it's better for, spam filter and stuff like that. But it's interesting then, which one would you actually prefer? Would you prefer the hi, the hello, or the hey?
I don't actually use greetings. I just say name, Jeremy. Maybe in like a third follow-up, I'll throw something else in. But yeah,
it's just because you're rude.
Hey, if you get a cold email from us, you're a very lucky person because we target very carefully and we don't beat around the bush with value. We just, I don't know. That's how I like to think about it anyways. Like your prospect should be lucky that you found them because your cold email is that damn good. Right. I mean, look, in this case, I'm not kidding because we just talked about a scenario where a referral program could pay out $5,000 just by, dropping their name to the number one rated developer in the city. Like that is really fortunate to get that opportunity for a lot of people. So, don't think I'm just, blowing smoke by saying your prospects should be lucky. I really believe that.
This is an interesting point, actually. And I know we are diverging slightly a bit, but I think this is a really important mindset is to really think that when I'm reaching out this person, if they accept the offer, they're going to be way better off.
Right. Right.
I would love to be in their shoes and receive this email. And if you do that, because I think most people don't really consider that. It's not just like, okay, what can I write from his point? Well, I'll give him this and that as a benefit, and then that's it. And this is what I'm interested about is my stuff. But if they really think like, okay, let's trade seats for a second, how excited would actually be to receive this offer and would actually want to act on this offer, like, genuinely. And that's not always the case, People are not considering this.
I've told people before, if they are about to launch a campaign and they're worried that people won't really love to get that message, stop what you're doing and take another rewrite. Work in some more value props. Think about, like you just said, Jeremy, walk in their shoes so that this message greets them in a much more intriguing way than it currently is. It should kind of get you a little bit nervous to click send because there's so much on the other end of that email. You're going to have to follow through quite a lot when they get back to you.
Well said, Jack. And I think in this email, this is highlighted with just, I wanted to reach out. And I think that's what, struck me the wrong way already is like my name, I wanted. And it's just like, okay, this is a me type of email already. I'm not that interested in reading it. And so that's kind of like even surprising that the next paragraph is like, we are. And it's like, we again, it's like, it's not even, us like trying to make a deal or trying to benefit from each other. So already I can see this is a very narrow, one-sided email.
But it's interesting they didn't use the company's name in the body anywhere, which is a little bit surprising.
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah, in the signature.
At the bottom as a signature.
Right.
Yeah, you will think so with so much me emphasizes that, it'll be like talking a bit more about them.
So maybe we can just have like one concrete example of going from we to reader focused.
Okay, let's do that.
So like this line, we are a software development company. And I understand that it is not uncommon for marketing agencies to have clients looking to expand their technological offering, through a new mobile app. Let's take a stab at just rephrasing this so it's for Jack in this case.
Yeah, well, Jack, I know you are, in SaaS or, instead of like dropping stuff like e-commerce, SaaS platform, whatever, just at least be targeted on, so I know, Jack, you're running a SaaS, and then that is not necessarily uncommon to be pitched by other companies. It's like, I'm looking at you and not me pitching all the other companies,
Right. So everyone you're reaching out to, if you're contacting marketing agencies, they've got testimonials and client logos all over their website. So it's like, hey, I saw your marketing agency worked with company Y and company X. A couple other agencies we know have, referred customers like that to us and got 5K just for, dropping our name. Sounds like this could be an easy extra revenue source for you. Love to start a conversation. When are you free? I think that's kind of what we're talking about, right?
And that should be easy to scrape as well, because most of those agencies effectively put it like, all clients, or, they use some sort of like keywords of paragraph before you got all the logos.
Yeah.
And I can bet that the name of their image is actually the name of the company they're using, so.
Oh, yeah, right. Quickmail.jpg.
Yeah, and then you can have like, worse being worse in a sense. You can have someone like scraping screenshots or like looking at the screenshots and, a VA like $2 an hour, whatever, just entering all the logos they can see on that page.
So easy.
The merge tag.
So easy. But the thing is, like, if you're listening, hopefully this gets you excited that the bar is still pretty damn low. A lot of cold emails are breaking a lot of best practice rules. And doing it the other way is really attainable. You just need to.
I'm actually sad.
Are you?
This is hard to get a good cold email. So that's why actually I put the good ones on coldoutreachtemplates.com. That's where I put the good ones I have. And I don't update it very often because it's not very often I receive really good cold emails. But I do sometimes. So if you want to stay tuned, go there.
There you go. So hopefully you'll be the shining cold emailer in your market. Stay tuned for more. But Jeremy,
great cast, Jack.
Great cast.
Thanks for the fun.
Hey, cold emailer.
Yeah, you.
If you got some value from this episode, give us a high vibe by sharing a 2-sentence review on iTunes.
Or Stitcher, or TuneIn. That works too.
It's a quick way to help other growth-minded folks like us find this podcast
so they can send awesome emails
and make everyone's inbox a better place. Thanks.